Yes, so let's talk about balance and happiness, because the two are quite different, actually. Um, we all want to be happy. Everyone wants to be happy, right? Everyone seeks happiness in their own way. There's a million different ways we can be happy. We might chase it in relationship stuff, money stuff, possession stuff, chemical stuff. We might, want to purchase properties and raise a family, get a partner and raise, a family and children and all that. Might want to go out and party, and stay single and free. You might want to lay on the couch just on welfare all day, playing video games, or you might want to chase a career in a really hungry way. You might, maybe try to really focus on your health and lift weights and make your body look a certain way. Or you might just think fast food just makes you happier, just eating lots of yummy junk food all the time. Could be happiness in the next cigarette, in the next beer, in the next, drug of choice. It could be, some new purchase. It could be upgrading stuff, all sorts of things. We all chase happiness in this sort of way, especially in the modern world. And especially with the advent of, so much media and advertising and all that kind of thing. We are all professional consumers to one degree or another, are we not? And the point is, during this pursuit of happiness, often we are left out of balance. Often we are left unhappy. Often we are left just feeling frazzled by it all. If you seek happiness going down the road of, let's say, raising children and having a family, that will leave you feeling exhausted and tired. That's hard work. But if you go and chase, parties and raves and, the single life and, doing whatever, that can also leave you feeling very, if you chase happiness in your next cheeseburger, that will leave you a certain way. In the next cigarette, in the next beer, in the whatever. Your career, maybe that project that's really full on, maybe your studies, and then the career that you pursue. There's a lot of stress and there's a lot of stuff going on. In the pursuit of happiness, very often we make ourselves not necessarily unhappy, but out of balance. So what is balance? Balance is where this whole thing is in a state of equilibrium. A state of balance or equilibrium, chemically, physically, mentally, emotionally, where everything's kind of stabilized. What does balance mean? It's stable, right? It's not this way and it's not that way. It's in the middle, like a seesaw. This isn't balanced and this isn't balanced, but if I get that seesaw sort of here, like the scales or whatever, now there's balance. You're not this way and you're not that way either. You're balanced. You're in the center. You're centered. So what's a centered or balanced mind like? It's open, it's clear, it's quiet, it's natural, it's beautiful. What's your chemistry like? Balance the chemistry of your body. It's not this way or that way. It's not really like highly energized with tons of caffeine and cigarettes and sugar and whatever. It's not stimulated, but it's not sedated either. It's not 6 beers and a couple of pills in. It's not sedated and it's overstimulated. It's just your energy's just ticking along, just nice. It's just natural, just normal, healthy, wholesome food. It's your body is, got its proper nutrition and it's just stable. Your chemistry, there's not constant stress hormones, drip, drip, drip. Every time you walk past the fridge and see an overdue bill, drip, you get a phone call, that you're running late. Work tomorrow. Oh, that guy's going to be there. Oh, drip. The kids are all screaming, stop fighting, drip. You know what I mean? Like there's always this constant stress hormones, drip, drip, drip. Everywhere we turn in modern life, stuck in a traffic jam. I'm going to be late. I'm going to miss my flight. The person's not going to be there. She's, whatever. It's like this constant drip, drip, drip caused by a million different things. So the chemical balance of the entire system. And you don't need to be a biologist and know all the lingo and all the science of it. If you want to learn that, of course, that's interesting. You might find it interesting. But you don't need to know anything. It's just stop all the stress and stop all the chasing, which we'll get into in a second. And the chemistry of your body will adjust itself. You don't need to do anything. It's through doing nothing that the chemistry of your body will come back to homeostasis, I think it's called. You know? So that internal kind of balance of your chemistry. Energetically, we're always trying to force our body into something. I feel tired. We reach for sugar and caffeine, or a cigarette or some stimulants or something. We're feeling stressed out. We try to numb ourselves down with sedatives or alcohol or whatever it is. When the body, once again, when we stop doing or chasing anything, perhaps the body's allowed to just be as it wants to be. If it feels energized, if it's in one of its energetic cycles, then you feel energy, and as it rests and it goes into a quiet thing, if there's no energy, let it be no energy. And then the body will balance in that way. By forcing yourself to, let's say, if you've got an ideal here, I always like being on my caffeine buzz, let's say, and you're constantly trying to hold yourself in that state, you will crash back and bounce back over here. Every caffeine junkie knows that, right? The moment the caffeine's not there or whatever, there's always a crash. So what it really is this letting your mind be balanced, letting your chemistry be balanced, and letting the energy systems of your body, the energetic sort of component, be balanced. So how do you do this? How do you achieve this balance? I'm glad you asked. So it's basically by doing nothing. And the best way to do nothing, there's lots of ways. Things like formal meditation, you can go and sit in your room and do a little, meditation practice or, that kind of thing. But a really nice way that I personally enjoy, and it's really worth a try, is you leave your house, you leave your condo, your unit, wherever you live, you leave your workplace, everything, and you remove yourself from your life situation. You just go out in nature. Could be anywhere, a beach, a park. Doesn't have to be somewhere exquisite. You don't have to drive a million miles away and make it into a big deal. It's not a big trip. It's not a holiday. You remove yourself from where you normally live. I today have just come out in the bush. I've just come out to this pine forest. It's about a 20-minute drive from my house. And I'm going to do nothing today. And I've been out here for a few hours. And I can tell you, I feel blissed out already. I really do. I feel so good. The way this works is by removing yourself from your life situation, your house or whatever. Now your mind is not seeking anything. It's not chasing anything. There's no desire or aversion. Your mind is allowed just to be clear and quiet and just, that's number one. Your body, when you come out here, you don't bring your cigarettes and your beer and your cheeseburgers and your chocolate bars and your music and your PlayStations and your phone. You leave all your addictions and all your stuff at home, and you just come out with a bit of water and maybe some simple food. And you sit around and do nothing, and you let your body just go. You let your body relax. You let your mind relax. And you literally do nothing. If you feel like sitting down and going to sleep, do that. If you feel like getting up and walking or even running or exercising, do that. Just really do whatever you feel like moment to moment. But by doing this sort of nothing, by this proper Wu Wei, there's this real proper, like doing nothing, but doing nothing with a purpose, for a reason. You find very quickly, you'll be surprised. Even just an hour or two. Just back to this balanced state. I don't have to care about all my stuff. Because all our stuff, let's be honest, all our stuff becomes like a prison for us. I've got a house, a very nice house. I like my house. It's very, humble, kind of just a normal little house. But it's nice for sure. But it's also a bit of a prison. Because when I walk around in there, I see my TV and maybe that distracts me. Then I see the bills hanging on my fridge. Then I see the dirty dishes. Then I see that cobweb I've been meaning to get to. And then I go out in the garage and I see some unfinished project going on. And, it's like, uh, uh, if you live with other people, there's noise, there's distractions, there's kids fighting, or there's, there's some loud music that you don't want on in that moment, or whatever it is. There's always some sort of there's distractions. There's a fridge full of chocolate or beer, or there's some cigarettes there, or medications, or drugs of choice, or whatever. There's all your stuff, all your addictions, all your the things that sort of help keep us unbalanced, that sort of sustain us in an unbalanced way. It's very hard to rebalance in your own home. It's hard to, you really need to remove yourself, because all those addictions, the food addiction in the fridge, the alcohol thing, the computer game there, you might have your Xbox or your PlayStation or something there, and you go to that, or you think, I've got to check all those emails, so you go to that, or I've been meaning to wash the car, so you go and do that. All this stuff we get involved in, the typical modern life is made up of. It all gets a bit much sometimes, let's all admit it. When was the last time we really had nothing to do and felt amazing because of that? Just felt blissed out. Oh man, I just got a lazy day with nothing to do at all. It's really, really therapeutic. So, guidelines for this rebalancing. Keep it real simple. Don't pack the car up and make it like a 5-day road trip somewhere with and it turns into like a really big deal. It's got to be as simple and as easy. It could be just hop on the push bike with a backpack, with a water bottle and a sandwich, and go down to some nice little park or some bridge or river or beach or whatever it is. It could be just get in the car with a few simple things. If you want to make it a bit bigger and stay overnight somewhere, you got a swag or a car, a van or something you sleep in, something like that. Yeah, cool. Whatever. But then when you get to your destination, don't do anything. Just wander, walk around, sit, lay down, look up at the sky, look at the trees, connect with nature. Connecting with nature is very important, especially with the advent of the internet, because the internet has got us just flooded with information to the degree where we are confused. A lot of our stress in life is confusion. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I follow this path, this course of action, or this course of action? Should I believe that guy or this guy? We're constantly like bombarded with views and opinions and information. You've got to get away from that and reconnect back with not just this nature, not just with trees and bush and the beach and the sky and clouds and the natural world, but with your own nature. You have to reconnect with yourself, like your own natural state. And what I mean by that is your mind in its natural state and your body in its natural state. We forget. We think nature is like bush and trees and koalas and national parks and stuff. We have, of course, come from nature, and we have lost our naturalness, but it's quite easy to refine. Let your mind go. Let it just be in its natural, more animalistic kind of state, where it's just simple and open and aware and awake, but just watchful but quiet. It's not thinking about everything. Letting your body be natural in its movements and just kind of relax into yourself. One of the most healthiest things you can possibly do is rebalance yourself by coming back to your own natural state. Let your mind be natural. Let your body be natural. Breaking tree branch. In that moment, that tree branch broke somewhere. The ears prick up, just like an animal, right? Like a little deer's there eating grass that hears a noise in the bush. It's one ear goes, ooh, what's happening? Something's happening around me. Is it a threat? Is it a danger? Ooh. It's not necessarily, it's not an emotional thing. It's just an awareness thing. There's no emotion involved. Very simple little example happened right there. You see that naturalness? We've lost that. And screens take that away. Screens and the internet rob us of our naturalness. So again, the guidelines, real simple. Keep it simple. Don't make a big deal of it. If it's just a couple of hours, half a day or overnight, whatever, remove yourself from your life situation. Take no addictions. Don't take your phone. Don't take your screens. Don't take your music. Don't take your earbuds. Don't take your cigarettes. Don't take your booze. Don't take your pills. Don't take your chocolate bars. Don't take sugar. Don't take caffeine. Just water, a bit of simple food. If you want to fast and do it a bit more serious and actually, go without food, that increases the therapeutic aspect of it. But it doesn't have to be like that either. It can just be back to basics. Sandwich, drink bottle, sit there, do nothing. That kind of thing. And then just let yourself go. One thing that I find happens with this is you start to reevaluate all that life that you've kind of left back there for a little bit, for half a day or whatever it is. You start to reevaluate that relationship. Does that relationship really serve me? Is it really, kind of nice, or is it kind of toxic or dysfunctional or whatever? Do I really need to, do I really want all this debt? Do I really want to make this purchase that I'm considering? Do I really want to start or continue on with that project? Do I really want to study that and go down? Or am I just kind of doing it because of expectations or something? What do I really want? What really makes me feel good? Maybe you might just go, man, actually, my whole life is just a big, massive stress and everything. And I'm just going to sell up and, go and live in a van somewhere. Maybe. Or you might be the opposite and go, you know what? Sitting out here and not being around my family and everything, I realize how valuable they actually are. I actually realize how much I cherish them. And, I'm out here for half a day and I'm really missing actually my partner or my children or my whatever, some people or whatever. Or maybe you're out in nature and you realize, oh, nature's actually quite harsh. I really appreciate my house, my hot shower and my comfortable bed, and the coziness of my house is actually really divine. I should appreciate it more. It might make you see that a lot of the things that you get involved in are completely frivolous and unnecessary and just junk. And it can have the opposite effect, can make you realize the value of the stuff that you actually have, the job you have. Man, you know what, my business is really actually so good. I really enjoy it. It enriches my life or whatever, so it can happen both ways. But it's difficult when you're in the mix to feel those things. You remove yourself, you pluck yourself out of your own life, stick yourself out in the bush, out in the natural world, reconnect with the natural world, reconnect with yourself, and then you give yourself the chance to digest a lot of the noise of life. Why do I behave that way? Why do I compulsively eat that chocolate? Why do I, just jam all of that junk in my body? Why do I, chase those things? Why am I even, buying the things that I buy or getting into the debt that I get into? Why am I even doing those things? Was it programming from when I was young or whatever? You start to give yourself time to digest your own activities. That is super useful just within itself. What we're really often craving is to feel well and balanced. And somewhere, somehow, in the pursuit of happiness, we've made ourselves really out of balance. I have been out here for 2 or 3 hours, and all I did was I collected a bit of firewood, lit a fire, and now I'm just sitting. And I can tell you I feel just blissed out. I do. It's like I just dropped back, boom, into a balanced state very quickly. The moment I stepped out of the car actually and looked up at all the trees and the nice fluffy clouds and just like, oh, I've got nothing to do all afternoon. Oh, wicked, really wicked.